All right. So today's session will be the generic session, general session, which we are going to discuss in general thing, which is related to skills. What are the skills required for automation tester? And if you are getting some job in the company, so what are the different roles will be there? Okay, and those things we are going to discuss. And suppose if you joined as an automation tester, right? What are the roles and responsibility you have to do, and what are the responsibilities you have? What are the jobs or what are the tasks you have to do perform on the day-to-day basis? So those things we will discuss, and then we'll discuss about the preparatory steps, like if you want to go for the job, so where we need to start, what we have to learn, okay, so how we need to learn, how much time we have to spend, what we should do. So all these things we are going to discuss. And once we discuss these topics, and I'm going to share a few things very important, which we need to, you guys should prepare them and before going for interviews. Okay, now let us start. So first thing is skills required for automation tester. So if you're going for as an automation tester, or if you're applying for automation tester job, you need set of skills. So these skills will be not only a technical skills, it should contain multiple type of skills, like technical skills will be there, and there are some soft skills also required, sometimes documentation skills required, and sometimes you need some kind of presentation skills are required. It's a combination of multiple skills, not only technical point of view. I'm saying about all the all round skills, like majorly 50% of the skills should be technical, and rest of the skills like documentation, and you should able to prepare a good kind of presentations and ms word documents, and you should able to work on with excel files, and you need to prepare some set of kind of data in the excel files. Okay, so those skills should be part of your documentation skills. Okay, you need to have, along with the technical skills, you need to also have some documentation skills. Let me just start listing out what are the skills you required as an automation skill. I'm just talking about very basic stuff. Okay, so very basic skills, and later on we'll go on to the complex stuff. So as a beginner, first you need to have skills like documentation skills. Documentation documents and skills are required. So documentation skills in the sense, you should able to work on ms word documents, and you should able to prepare the ppts, right? So, and you should able to work with the excel files, and you need to prepare some data in the excel files. So these things you have to familiar with. These are the very basic things. So if you are working as a computer, right, if you are working as a IT professional, these things will be common thing. Even if you are working on non-IT sectors, you should have these skills. So documentation skills are very important. So but because whatever you have done, right, so certain tasks you will complete, so how you will project those things to others, you should put them in the documentation format. It can be word document, or it can be, sometimes it will be presentation or ppt, right? So these are basic skills you need for the job. So these are the skills required for automation. And the next one is presentation skills. I'm just talking about soft skills first. Okay, later we'll go on to the technical skills. So you need a presentation skill. So presentation skill in the sense, here again the communication is also involved. Communication and presentation is very important. Sometimes if you're not a good communicator, you will able to present, right? So suppose if you have a presentations and documents, you can just prepare very attractive presentations, and you can communicate with them. If you're not a good communicator, you will put all the data and all the presentations, reports, everything in proper format, and you can just present them to the other team members. So you should be a good presenter or good communicator, because all, not only software job, normally in any IT job, you need to interact with the multiple teams. You have to communicate with the multiple teams, and you should be the coordinating person. So you need to talk to the developers, you need to talk to the QA, you need to talk to the management, right? If you are agile, every day you will have certain meetings. So every day you will have scrum meetings and status meeting, right? So every day you will have some calls. So you should be able to communicate with everyone, and you should have certain kind of presentation skill and communication skill. So this will impact a lot in your job. So nowadays in the current market, I'm really saying 80% of the people doesn't have more technical skills. 80% of the people are surviving in IT industry because of presentation and communication skills. Okay, so only 30 to 40% of the people are surviving only with the technical skills. So that much important is soft skills, very, very important. Presentation and communication skill and documentation skill. And then you should talk about the technical skills. Then you need to have the technical skills. So what are the technical skills you required? So if you go for an automation tester, you need to have certain set of skills, right? So automation tester means it should contains multiple technologies. Like you should know as a basic, you should know about manual testing concepts, because you are going as a tester. It can be manual tester, automation tester, whatever it may be. They will expect certain skills, right? Before directly jumping into the automation, first they will check whether you know basic testing or not. So what is testing? What are the different types of testing, and how to conduct the testing? What are the different testing techniques we have? Okay, those things, so that people will expect you have certain skills on them. So people will ask you certain kind of questions on these particular basic topics from manual testing. And don't expect, if you go for an automation interview, okay, so don't expect those people will not ask any kind of questions from manual testing or SQL or any other technologies. So automation engineer means it is not only automation tool. Okay, so people will ask you different kind of questions from different technologies, right? So manual testing skills are mandatorily required. If you have already attended any courses or manual testing or QA, and that's fine. If you're still not attended, if you don't know anything about manual testing, please learn this is very, very important. Okay, at least you need to have what are the testing types you need to have, what is functional testing, what is non-functional testing, what are the different techniques we have to use while writing your test cases, how to write your test cases. Okay, so these are very, very important. How to identify the scenarios, what is bug report, what the bug report contains, what is priority, what is severity. So what is sanity testing, what is smoke testing, regression testing. So these are very, very, very important topics from manual testing. So there are two categories again in the manual testing. One is you should know the concepts, basic concepts, like what is testing, types of testing, okay, techniques of the testing. So black box testing, white box testing. So these terminologies you should aware of it. They are basic concepts. So once we know the concepts, then you should know little bit about the process in the real time company, how the testing process will happen. So you should know about the complete agile process. Very, very important. So end-to-end task, how the things will go on in the agile process, you should aware of this. Okay, so how we'll get the stories, how we'll prepare the task for the stories, how we need to do estimation, how the scrum meeting will happen, and what is the agile team. Okay, so these are all very, very important. And what is sprint, what is iteration, what is sprint duration, all these things are very, very important. So this is about the agile process. What exactly will happen? Suppose where we have to start testing, so how we need to start testing, how to receive the requirements, how to analyze the requirement, how to write the test cases, what are the different tools are available to write the test cases, how to perform the bug reporting, how to report the defects to the developer, how the developer fix those defects. So these are all very, very important topics from manual testing, right? So even though if you go for an automation tester, people will expect, or you should expect some questions from the interviewer. That is very, very important things. Okay, so if you know about this manual testing, you are well and good in manual testing, that's fine. If you're not that much good, suppose I'm just giving like say rating, if I give some 1 to 10 rating, if you're if you're above the 7, if your rating is 7 or 8 or 9, 10, between 7 to 9, 7 to 10, it's fine. If you're giving rating yourself as 1 to 6, you should prepare well. Okay, that is not more than enough. If you're going for as an automation tester, means you should be master in the manual testing, right? So that is very, very important. So please prepare for manual testing concepts. You don't need to attend any course if you're still not attended. No need to any course, anything. So there are n number of videos are available online. Nowadays, learning is very, very easy. You can find a lot of free videos are available in YouTube, and there are small videos are available in Udemy. You can also buy them if you still want. Okay, there are multiple resources we have to learn the things. So you don't need to attend any specific training for manual testing. All right. So at the end of the session, I'm going to share all the links with you guys, and you can go through those videos and material, all the stuff. Okay. So that is about the first skill people will expect from you. Manual testing skill, very, very important. And there is a tool called, there are some tools are available like test management tools, bug tracking tools, right? So those tools are very, very important. Like you have like Jira is there. Okay, Jira is a tool. and version 1 is also tool, version 1 is also tool, and sometimes team city, people will use some team city. So these are all test management tools, or sometimes they are also using for agile processes. So these tools, at least one of the tool you should able aware of it, at least bug Jira, okay, dev track, bug tracking tools, at least one or two tools. If you have an incomplete idea, then you will be able to manage the interviews. Okay, even I have created a lot of videos on Jira and agile process and testing concept. There are n number of free videos are available online. Okay, you guys can go through them and learn yourself. It's very easy and simple way I have created all the videos. So I'll share those link at the end of the session. So these are the important skills which you need to have as part of manual testing. That's very important. This is the first step. Now, if you are good in manual testing, now the second type of skills people expect is SQL. So SQL, structured query language. As a automation tester, at least you should know any one of the database, or it can be Oracle, or it can be SQL Server, or it can be DB2. There are different databases we have in the market, but Oracle and SQL Server is a very basic databases. From the since long term, almost from 20 to 25 years, Oracle and SQL Server is there in the market. So at least one database, if you know, you can easily manage with other databases. So these are all classic databases. Classic databases we can call as RDBMS, Relational Database Management Systems. RDBMS. Okay, these are all classical databases, Oracle and SQL Server, and at least one database you should know, guys. Okay, that's very important. And people will ask you the queries from databases. So how to create the table, how to retrieve the data from the tables, how to write the joins, how to write the subqueries. So these are very mandatory important skills for automation tester. Even if you're working for scripts or automation projects, sometimes you should able to talk to the database and you should able to work with the tables. So these are very important topics from SQL. So Oracle or SQL. And nowadays there are latest type of databases came into the market. They're called NoSQL databases. NoSQL databases. Like we have a MongoDB, right? So MongoDB is also there. These are all very advanced and current trendy technologies. Okay. So MongoDB is there, and HBase is there, and Cassandra is there. So there are multiple databases of these are also databases. But basically, these databases are used in the productions to analyzing the data. But these databases, RDBMS databases, are basically used for the transactional data. Okay, day-to-day transaction will be stored the data in the classic databases. Suppose after quarter, every quarter of every half year, if they want to analyze the business, so they need some data, right? So that analytical data will be part of your NoSQL databases. So this is also very important. If you already know about Oracle or SQL Server, then just I suggest you learn one of this NoSQL DB. At least very basic. I'm not saying go advanced level. Just understand what is MongoDB, how to create the table, okay, how to add the data to the table, how to retrieve the data. So these things are enough. Only thing is, if anybody asks you to, do you know the MongoDB or do you know the NoSQL? Yes, I know. Okay, so at least you should know basic things from this. If you already have knowledge on normal classical databases, then I suggest you go for either NoSQL or NoSQL. These are all NoSQL database. NoSQL means not only SQL. Not only SQL means it is having additional stuff. Okay, and go for any MongoDB, HBase, and there are again free videos are available online. You can go and search and learn yourself. There is another very important. I'm just talking about improvements also. Okay, so manual testing skills you require as part of technical, and SQL is also required. And then come to the automation, and programming is very important, guys. So directly don't jump into Selenium. So programming is very important. So almost 5 to 7 years back, the market is different. Okay, so testing is basically done by normal graduates, and the later point of time, even postgraduates also applying for the testing jobs. And then slowly all IT people also came into the testing field, and people are expecting even programming from the people. So people who don't have any background of programming, they should learn at least one programming language. This is mandatory skills nowadays people are expecting. So without programming, don't expect any job in automation. Programming is very important. At least you should know one of the programming language. That is more than enough. So nowadays in the current market, Java or Python, okay, or JavaScript. So there are some programming languages are there which are very, very popular currently in the market. Okay, so if you are nowadays, if you know Java very well, in future, suppose if required, just go for JavaScript. Okay, so the complete future is in JavaScript itself. JavaScript is different, Java is different. So in the coming in future, whatever automation tools will come into the market will be implemented using JavaScript. Even currently in the Selenium also internally uses a JavaScript to talk to the browser. Okay, so if you know already Java, then go for some other programming language, but at least you should have a good knowledge on one programming language. So people will ask you the write a simple programs, okay, from Java. So they will ask you like this, just they will give some array, define an array, reverse elements, or sort an elements, or set an element in the array, or reverse a string, and check the number is palindrome or not, or check a number is leap year or not, okay, or print all the numbers in descending order. So these kind of questions people will ask you related to programming concepts. Okay, that's again basic skills, whether you know, but not people will not ask, they don't expect as much as like a developer point of view, but developer should know anyway each and everything in the programming. But as a tester, at least you should know 60 to 70% of the topics when you compare with the developers. Okay, so programming is very, very important. So along with my class examples, okay, I will also provide a lot of programming examples. I already provided, I think. If not, I'm going to provide them. So almost 50 plus programming examples I will provide you guys. So if you practice all of them, they are more than enough for an interview. Okay, so they are more than enough. So almost I have done 100 plus interviews, right? And I have consulted hundreds of people, interviewers, and I got a lot of questions from them. Generally, what they will ask in interviews, I collected all the questions and prepare all the materials in FAQs, and I'll make everything available online in my blogs and videos and everywhere. Okay, so please make use of them. That's very, very important and useful for you guys. So from programming perspective, I will just share with you guys almost 50 plus programming examples are available. From it will cover all the topics from Java. So please practice them. That is also very, very important. So once you are done with the programming, then come to the automation part. So now Selenium. So Selenium is a basically a functional test automation tool. Even in the market, there are multiple type of automation tools are available. Like functional testing tool is there, API testing tools are there, performance testing tools are there, or security testing tools are there. So for different type of testings, there are different type of tools are available. Okay, so basic automation tool is Selenium. So Selenium is only performing the functional UI automation tool. So the first thing you have to know is Selenium is comes under functional UI testing tool. Remember this. So this is purely functional UI testing tool. The front-end application you can test using Selenium. The two web browser. Okay, standalone applications not supporting by Selenium. So Selenium is comes under functional UI testing tool. This is very, very important. You guys should remember. So along with the Selenium, there are multiple tools are available in the market, like performance testing tools. We have a JMeter and load runner. Okay, and security testing tools. We have penetration testing tools. We have, and for API testing tools, we have like SoapUI, Postman, RestAssured, right? So even big data testing tools we have, ETL testing tools we have. So there are different type of testings we have, and there are n number of tools are there. Even in the future, it's again growing a lot, because currently artificial intelligence, right, and IoT, Internet of Things, these are all coming into the market, right? So once those technologies are evolving, even testing is also coming to the picture. So we need to do a lot of testing on those areas. So these are all whatever we are learning currently in the very, very basic. So in future, in another 3 to 6 months onwards, next 3 to 6 months, so almost artificial intelligence and IoT systems will come into the picture. It already came into the market, but the people are very less. So people don't have those many skills currently. So people are still searching. Market requirement is very, very huge on those particular domains. So automation is very, very important in each and every area. So why I'm more focusing on testing, because if you go for any company, right, so if you take any software, right, so some softwares are developed using Java, some software are developed using C# or some other technology. But application can be developed using any type of technology, but testing always will be there. If you go for any company, and if the company using any Microsoft technologies to develop the application, still the testing is there. Or if you go for some another company, they are using Java applications, still the testing is there. So even if you go for any company, even they are developing an application on specific technology, but still testing is there. So for every company, testing is common. So that's the reason there is a lot of recruitment is there in the testing field. Okay, very, very important. So you have to learn automation. From the Selenium, what are the things you have to mainly focus on? In Selenium, you have to more focusing on how to identify the elements. Identification of elements is very, very, and I'm talking about very specific to Selenium. Okay, identifying elements, how many ways we can identify the element, and especially XPath will be very, very important. Okay, so what is an XPath? What are the different types of XPath? How to write XPath manually, right? What are the different plugins are available to capture the XPath? How to write the dynamic XPath? How to use the functions within the XPath? So these are all very, very important questions you will get in the identification of elements, because this is a very, very challenging job of automation tester. And once you are able to identifying these elements, then working with a different type of elements, that is also very, very important. Working with different type of elements. Working with different type of elements. Different type of web elements means not only text box, normal simple elements, drag and drop, okay, and slider, resizing, and mouse activities, keyboard activities. Okay, so these are all very, very important. And different type of elements are calendar control, file uploading, file downloading, right? So these are all, we have discussed a lot of elements. So working with a different type of elements is very, very important. And especially people will ask you more on drop down, how to handle drop down. Okay, like that, people will ask you like this, how to handle drop down. Suppose in the drop down I have 100 element, 100 options, how to find how many options are there in the drop down. So like this, like how many ways you can select the value from the drop down. Similarly in the web table, so how many rows, how to count how many rows and columns in a table. All right, so these type of questions you should expect from the interviewer. So very, very important. Before that you have to prepare for them. So web tables are very important, and elements identifying elements are very important. And apart from this, and especially for how to handle file uploads and downloads, that is very, very huge important concept, because by default upload is not supported by Selenium. So people will expect and ask you on which technology you have used in those areas. So you can say there are multiple technologies are there. AutoIT is there, or SQL is there, and robot framework is also there. Okay, so there are robot class. So robot class is there. So multiple options are there. But in our classes, I have told you SQL, right? So how to use SQL, how to take the screenshot, how the SQL works, how to upload the file, all these things we discussed. But still, if you want to learn AutoIT and how to use this robot class, I've created some video tutorials on this. So at the end of the session, I will share those links. So please go through those recorded sessions. Okay, if still want to know how these things works. But AutoIT is a little bit older, so nowadays very less number of people are using, but SQL robot class is very popularly using current days. Okay, so these things are very much important. You need to more focusing on. And now come to the TestNG. TestNG point of view, you have to learn annotations, how to use annotations. And TestNG having a lot of features, everything is very, very important. So how to use annotations and parallel testing, right? Parallel testing you have to use. Okay, parallel testing, and then parameterization, how many ways we can do parameterization. So parameterization important. And then how to use an XML file, how to run your test cases, how to generate extend reports, and what type of reports you have used in your project. So people will ask you questions like this. So there are different type of reports are available in the market, but extend report is very popular reports currently. Most of the people are using in Selenium Java framework. So parallel testing, parameterization, and extend reports are very important. And in TestNG, every topic is very important. You will get a lot of questions only from TestNG, more than Selenium. Okay. So if anybody asks you from Selenium, they may ask only 2 or 3 questions, not more than that. Like how to identify the elements, XPath, and how to deal with the different elements. Other than this, we don't have anything from Selenium. But sometimes TestNG having a lot of things, annotations, parallel testing, parameterization, extend report, and TestNG listeners. What is use of listeners? What is use of listeners, and where we have to use listeners. Okay, these are all very important topic. And especially there is one more topic is there in Selenium, that is called grid component. So there is one more component is called grid component. So along with the Selenium IDE WebDriver, we also have the grid component. So what this grid component will do is, this grid component will execute our local test case into remote machines. Okay, this is basically distributed environment. The grid will be used, especially for product-based companies, because your test cases should be executed on multiple operating systems, and every operating system is having multiple browsers, right? So it will take a lot of time. So what you have to do is, once you have created your test case, you should be able to execute our test case on remote operating systems and remote browsers. So that is possible using grid component. So if you are not aware of this grid component, I will share the recorded session after the end of the session. So please go through those videos, how to use grid, because we need a certain kind of VMs and environment to understand grid. So we can also do within single environment in Windows operating system, but that will not much effective. You don't see much difference how we can execute in locally test case and how we can execute your test case remotely. So you can't see much difference. But if you have multiple VMs, right? If one VM is Linux, or one VM is your Windows, or another VM is Mac, if you have multiple systems, then you will see a lot of difference. So I have set up one environment and I have recorded the grid component session. There is one session, 1.5 hour session will be there, and I have already recorded that video, and I'll share that link at the end of the session. So please go through that particular recording mandatory. That is very important, guys. Okay, even though if you're not able to set up that environment, still you should have some idea how grid will work, how the grid will execute our test cases remotely. So that is more important, guys, right? So from Selenium, so these are the questions you should expect. And then at the end, very important is framework. Okay, framework. You will get a lot of questions on framework. The first question will ask you is, have you designed framework? That's the first question people will ask. Have you designed your framework? Or what kind of framework you have used in your project? So there are different type of frameworks we have. So what kind of framework you have used in your project? So you should always say we have used hybrid driven framework, which contains Selenium, TestNG, right? And TestNG, Selenium, Maven, and GitHub repositories. You have to tell these components very clearly, because even in hybrid driven framework itself, some people will use different technologies. So some people will use, instead of Maven, people will use Gradle component. And instead of TestNG, people will use Cucumber component. Cucumber is another kind of framework. So there are different kinds of frameworks available in the market. And whenever you are answering this question, you should be very specific. Okay, hybrid driven framework. In this, we have used Java with Selenium, Selenium with Java, along with the TestNG, Maven, Git, and Git repository, along with the Jenkins. So these are the combination of tools we have to tell as part of framework. So that's the first question people will ask you. What is the framework you have used in your project? So once you tell what kind of framework, then immediately we'll get one more question. Have you designed your framework? So this is again one more important question, guys. So if you're putting more than 4 years or 5 years of experience, okay, if you already have some experience on testing, real genuine experience, then you can confidently say, I have designed the framework. Okay, if you're able to explain each and every component in the framework, you can confidently say, I have designed the framework. But if you are going for 2 years or 3 years experience guy, don't say I have designed the framework, because normally in the real-time environment, this framework will be designed by the senior people. At least they should have 5 years of experience, and they should know the domain skills. They should know what domain it is, and they should know end-to-end functionality, all the test cases, how the flows will happen. And they should also have certain experience on the previous projects and designing the frameworks. So those guys are responsible for designing the framework from the scratch. So if you're going as a 2 or 3 years of experience guy, don't say I have designed the framework from the scratch. Okay, that's not valid. Even if you say like this, they will ask more number of questions. It is very difficult to answer in that case. Okay, so just say I have involved in the framework. I have assisted my leads, like they are created framework, but I have supported them, like I facilitated them. Like this, we can just answer the question. And I have implemented page objects, and I have created my test cases. I have generated the reports. So these things you can answer. Okay. I have involved in the framework, and especially creation of page object classes, creation of your test cases, and generating the reports. So those things you can do that if you go as a 2 years or 3 years of experience guy. That is very, very important. So that is all about framework. Okay. And one more question. How many test cases will you automate it per day? Will you able to automate it per day? This is a common question. Generally, people will ask you if you go as an experienced guy, right? So if it is a very complex test case, per day, one test case is more than enough. Okay. If it is a complex, and if it is short or very small test cases, you can just say 3 to 4 test cases. Okay. On an average, you can say 3 to 4 test cases if it is a small, and if it is a large, okay, and then you can say 1 test case per day. So large means at least this test case should contain at least 4 to 5 pages, and if it is a small test case, you have only 1 or 2 pages in your test case. And object identification will be taking a lot of time. Sometimes if you are able to identify the element, it's very, very simple. Even complex test cases also you can complete within minutes. But if sometimes element is taking a lot of time, then it is very difficult to complete. Even small test cases itself will take a lot of time. Okay. So that is very, very important thing. So framework is very important. So you will get a lot of questions on frameworks. What is framework? How to implement the framework? What are the different components we have in the framework? Then you have to draw the diagram, whatever I have shared yesterday. So you have to draw the complete picture, and then you should be able to explain each and every component in the framework. Okay. And especially for Selenium, I have created almost 8 video sessions. Okay. 8 parts I have. So I will share at the end of the session. So please watch those recorded sessions. Okay. Almost 8 parts are there. Almost I covered almost 150 or 170 questions I have covered in those videos. Every question, even especially for the framework, I have created one complete video only on the framework, all the interview questions and everything. Okay. I'll share those link after end of the session. So please watch those recorded sessions. Okay. Especially for FAQs I'm talking. Right. So these are all come to the automation part. So Selenium is an automation tool, and every concept is important, guys, because you have not learned for passing an exam, right? So you are learned for working on the projects and the real-time projects. So each and every topic is very important. Every topic is important. Everything is used in the project in future. Okay. So as a technical part, you should have a manual testing skills, SQL skills, programming skill, and you should also be aware of Selenium. Okay. This is a very basic stuff. So once you have the skills on this, you can start applying for the job. So this is the first criteria, the first combination: manual testing, SQL, programming, and Java. Programming is Java concepts, and then Selenium. So if you know these concepts, now you are ready to apply for the automation engineer job. This is a very basic criteria. Okay. If you don't know about anything else here, please learn them first. Unless you know these things, you don't go for anything. Okay. That's the first important thing. So this will give you the base. This is a basic first criteria. So then what I suggest you is, people nowadays are asking multiple skills. These are all very basic skills, right? So in addition, the companies are also expecting multiple testing skills, right? You should be able to test APIs, or sometimes you should be able to test database, and sometimes you should be able to test performance, and sometimes mobile testing, right? Mobile app testing. So these things are very important in nowadays market. So if you learn only Selenium, so in future you may not survive long time. Okay. So you should upgrade the skills and get familiar with the latest technologies. That is very, very more important. Okay. So with this existing skills, what I have listed here, you can go for attend for the interviews, but fine. But in addition, if you have these skills like API testing or performance testing or mobile automation testing, like mobile automation means Appium. So if you know these tools, right? If you know these tools, this will be very, very important and added advantage of your resume. Very important. So people, if you know only the skills, you have a lot of competition, okay, in the market, because everybody knows these skills. But how you will recognize separately, how people will select you is based upon the additional skills. What are additional skills you have when you compare with the others? That's more important, right? So once you get familiar with this, I suggest you go for some other technology, whichever you are interested. You can go for API web services testing. You can go for performance testing. JMeter is there. On API testing, you have SoapUI, Postman, RestAssured automation, and for mobile automation, you have an Appium tool. So there are multiple things are there in the market. Everything is important. So if you go and survive in the long term in the job and need to compete in the existing market, then go for other technologies. That is also I'm suggesting in future, not at now. Okay, please focus whatever you have learned so far. That itself is enough, but you have to go for next things in future. Okay, so I'm suggesting these things as part of technical skills. So you should have documentation skill, presentation and communication skill, and technical skills. These are very, very important things. Okay, and now let's see what are the responsibilities of we have seen skills required for automation tester, right? Next we'll see what is the different various roles in software testing jobs. So in the software testing jobs, you will have different type of roles, right? So if you go for like a quality analyst, so it's a very basic job. Like if you go for 1 or 2, 3 years experience, guys, the designation will be, let's say, quality analyst, or we can say test analyst, or can say test engineer, or test or QA tester, QA engineer. So these are different roles. So QA engineer, okay, these are the basic roles. And if you go for automation, especially you are getting some job in automation, so we can say like automation tester, and let's say automation engineer, like automation engineer, okay, and lead engineer or lead automation engineer. If you are a senior, so if you have another 4 to 5 years experience, then lead automation engineer. And if you more experience, more than 5, 6, 8 years of experience, then you will see test architect, okay, test architect, and also SDET, software development engineer in test. So this particular designation become very, very popular in the nowadays market. SDET is a very important skill. SDET is a combination of skills that guy should know about complete programming skills, and they should know about API testing, functional testing, mobile testing, all different kinds of testing skills they should have. And almost they are equal to developer. And nowadays, don't think developer and testers are different teams, okay? So because everybody is a part of Agile, Agile itself is a team. So which contains developers, testers, QA, Scrum Master, managers, everybody will be part of one team. Everybody fall under one umbrella, okay? But they are doing different tasks based upon their skill set. So, but especially nowadays, tester is almost equal to developer. So developer is also writing the code and tester is also writing the code, right? So developer is writing the code for developing application, but whereas tester is also writing the code to test the software. So both are writing the code, both are using the tools, everything. So almost tester is equal to developer. Don't expect developer is different, tester is different, okay? So SDET is a role, and the guy should contain the skills from dev as well as QA. So you should able to develop something, and also you should able to test something. So that is another role in the current. In future, this role will be very, very important, and the rest of the roles maybe will not be there in future, and only the SDET role will be there, software development engineer in test, and senior at this lead SDET. So it will be like this. So these are all the different roles. So you will see if you go for automation tester or manual tester or anything, or in the senior roles, test manager, test architect, okay, senior managers, they are again people management people, okay, these are all technical people I'm talking about, okay. So people management is different, and product management is different. So these people, what I'm saying here is these people are comes under product management. They are responsible for developing, designing, developing, and testing the products. And people management is different, managers, okay, all the people, they are people management, okay. So these are the different roles we have in the software testing jobs. And the next one, role responsibilities of the automation tester. So what are the different responsibilities of the automation tester? So normally as an automation tester, right, so as a first step, you need to understand the complete flow of your application. So you need to understand flow of the application. So you need to understand the flow of the application. Just a moment. Right. So you need to understand the functionality. Instead of flow, we can say functionality. That's very, very important. So functionality means is a flow. So you should able to understand end-to-end flow of the application. Until unless you are clear about the flow or functionality, you cannot directly jump into the automation. That is very, very important. You need to have complete understanding of functionality. And the second thing is the second response. That means how we will get the understanding functionality? By reading the requirements. So by reading requirements, customer requirements, you will get the complete clarity on the application. And then you should able to write automation scripts. You should able to write automation scripts. Automation script in the sense you should able to create page object classes, and you should able to write test cases, and sometimes if any reporting and other utility files are required, you should able to write those things. Okay, this is another important thing. And other than this, so another one is you have to attend product meetings. Okay, you have to attend product meeting. So this is another important thing. You have to attend product related meetings to understand all the new features in the coming months or coming weeks. What are the new functionalities our developer is going to implement, and product managers, developers, they will update their statuses and everything. And other thing is you have to participate in Agile Scrum meetings. Okay, every day 10 to 15 minutes the Scrum meetings will happen. So every day you will be design the task. Okay, for today 6 to 8 hours work will be there. So you will be working on 6 to 8 hours. So you have to clearly define the tasks. So today I have planned these tasks, tomorrow I'm going to do these tasks, yesterday I have completed this. So these three things you have to be very, very clear, and the same status you should be able to update in the Agile Scrum meetings. And the Scrum meetings, everybody in the team will be attended. So that is very, very important. So as an automation tester, these are very, very important roles. And along with this, sometimes you need to debug the issues. Suppose automation fixes are required. Suppose sometimes application will be changed or developer will introduce new stuff in the application, then your automation scripts will obviously fail. So you have to also concentrate on automation fixes. You need to debug the issues. That means automation fixes you have to provide. And then you have to work with DevOps team. To setting up Jenkins, and if there is any issues, okay, you have to log into the Jenkins and check what are the issues we have. So most of the time DevOps will take care of it Jenkins configuration. You don't worry about Jenkins configuration. Even if you are not able to run anything in the Jenkins, don't worry about this. Okay, if you know how to execute your test cases in Jenkins, that is more than enough for tester. So rest of the things are taken care by the DevOps team, because they are the owners for this. We are not the owners. Okay, so Jenkins configuration, Maven configurations, if you find any issues, don't worry about this. That is not our job. Okay, DevOps team will do that. So you have to work with the DevOps team to solve the issues. Okay, so these are all major important roles and responsibilities of automation tester. You have to understand the requirements. You have to write our automation script, page object class. You have to execute our test cases. Okay, you have to execute our test cases. You have to do reporting. You have to send the reporting to all the team members, status reportings, and automation reports, all these things. So these are very, very important roles and responsibilities of automation testers. Okay, so we have discussed about skills required, various roles are there in the software testing, and then finally roles and responsibilities we discussed. Okay, now at last we discussed about preparation steps. So I have discussed all these things, but what to prepare for them, where to start, how to start, right? So these are the preparatory steps, guys. This is very important. So as a first step, as a beginner, learning is very, very important. So how we will learn? What are the different sources? You can attend the trainings. Training is one of the learning approach. Okay, and sometimes you can go for online resources, Online resources in the sense you can go for YouTube or you can go for the blogs, okay, and etc. So there are n number of resources we have online, and you can join some groups, get latest updates. So everything you have to keep on updating online itself. Okay, and most of the people will ask you what is the best books to prepare automation stuff. So I am not suggesting any books for them, because the books contains a almost everything is a old information. Okay, so books are static, very static. So if you are not updated any book after 3 months or 6 months, it will be outdated. So that information is nowhere useful and not much useful. So I suggest everybody go online itself. So in online itself, internet itself, you will find lot of material, lot of FAQs, lot of videos, and you can get everything from online. Everything, latest information, you will get always on the online itself. Don't go for any specific book. I'm not suggesting any books. Follow the blogs. Okay, different blogs are there. So n number of blogs are there, specific technologies, YouTube channels. So you can just go through. These are all learning approaches. You can learn the things by using different resources, and practice is very, very important, guys. So practice is important. Learning itself is not 100% completion, so practice is very, very important. So get all the examples, get examples and assignments, and whatever assignments so far you have done. Along with this, I'm also going to provide a lot of things today, so we also go and do those assignments, and very, very important, that will give the practice. And finally, project is very, very important, guys. So in my session, I have covered one e-commerce project. I have told you few test scenarios, and rest of the test cases you guys should automate. That will give you a kind of project experience. Okay, and that is very, very important. Project is also very important. You will get a lot of questions on project also if you put some experience. Okay, first learning, then practice it and get the project information and prepare for the project. And then interview preparation, you need FAQs, and resume preparation is a general thing. So FAQs, I will provide you all the links and material, and prepare those FAQs. That is more than enough for any kind of interview. And I will also give you the links. You can also download all kinds of resumes, and there are different templates I have. So just modify or customize according to your data, and then make all the resumes and multiple times review it, and then use the same resume in job portals. Okay, so this is the last step wise. But before, don't directly jump into the interviews and everything. First get familiar with, and you should have a confidence. Okay, before going for an interview, you should have the confidence, and then go for. If you don't know anything here what I have listed, don't go for interview, don't start interview trials. First get familiar with all these tools and get the confidence, and then start interviews. Prepare the FAQs, and once you get the confidence, and then go for interviews. Okay, so that's how I'm just suggesting, guys. This is very, very important information I'm giving you today. And now I'll provide you a certain number of links which are very, very important. So let me just share a small document, guys. So here I have provided all the links which are very, very useful for you guys. So please go through each and every topic. Okay, spend some time, 1 hour, 1.5 hours every day, and please combine them. And some topics which are not covered in the sessions, these are very advanced topics. Okay, they are not part of curriculum. So I will also created some videos on them. So if you still wanted to learn those topics, please go through and watch those recordings. So especially for Selenium FAQs, I have given 8 videos here. So please go through. These are very, very important, guys. Okay, so don't leave this. Watch these videos. I have given links here. And miscellaneous topic from Selenium. So how to handle the date pickers. So in this video, I have covered 2 to 3 date pickers, different type of date pickers. You can go through that one. And how to do the Google search. These are all, sometimes in interview also you will get these kind of questions. And XPath advanced. So this video especially created only on XPath. So what are the different advanced options we have in XPath? I have clearly explained in this particular video. So please go through that. And some interview questions like how to handle Ajax calls or stale element exception and everything. I've covered a few videos, so please go through that. And extend report 4, we already covered in our classes. And robot class API. So robot class API, how to use this robot class API in Selenium. So file uploading, file downloading, and we can also handle alert pop-ups windows. For all those things, we can also use robot API. Okay, so we can also get watch this recording and handle authentication pop-ups and QR code, barcodes. These are all very advanced topics, but very rarely applications contains these things. Okay, not only every application, especially for e-commerce applications, online portals like Amazon, these kind of websites, they will have these kind of elements. And bitmaps, how to compare the images and bitmaps, and headless browser testing, and JavaScript executor. This video is very, very important, guys. So please watch this JavaScript executor video, because we already tried this. We have used this in our sessions, but this video will give you in detail a lot of examples and where and all we can use JavaScript executor. What are the scenarios we can automate? So it will give you the in detail information about JavaScript executor, and Selenium grid also there here. So this video explains about Selenium grid component. But still you cannot practice this in your system, but still you should have some idea on this. Okay, please watch this recording. And DB testing in Selenium. So how to connect to the database, how to fetch the data from the database, I've explained here. Then AutoIT links are provided. There are 2 videos I've created using AutoIT software. So watch this, and how to check the broken links, how to use a hash map, Java hash map in Selenium, how to work with the cookies. Okay, so these are all different miscellaneous topics, guys, and little advanced topics. So if you still like to know these topics, please watch these recordings from YouTube channel. Okay, I'm just providing the links. And the last one is Cucumber. So nowadays people are using BDD frameworks. There are multiple types of frameworks we have, like TDD framework, BDD framework, ADD framework, TDD test driven development framework, behavioral driven development framework, acceptance test driven framework. So TDD is basically TestNG will use here, and here we use a TestNG. Okay, these are very important terms, guys. Please remember. Okay, TestNG comes under the TDD framework, test driven development framework. BDD is a behavior driven framework, and Cucumber is an example for this. Cucumber is example for this. And ADD. So here the robot framework is there. Robot framework, especially for Python, it is there. So robot framework comes under acceptance driven development framework. So there are different frameworks we have. So nowadays even Cucumber is also used by some of the companies, and this also become very popular in the nowadays in the market. So I have created 3 different sessions. Everything will be 1.5 hour session. So Cucumber, and please watch that recording. Okay, so Cucumber videos are very, very important. Now SQL. So if you don't know SQL, you don't need to attend any training. I have given the complete list here, playlist. So almost 7 to 8 sessions are there. So please watch those SQL videos here. And manual testing videos. So here the complete manual testing videos are there. Let me just give this information. If you go here, you will see all the playlists from this.
Hello everyone. Okay. So welcome on.
Okay, so these are all playlist. Okay, anyway, I'll copy the playlist in the below one. So here you can see. So if you open this particular one, you can see all the manual testing videos. So this is the playlist. Okay, so almost 25 to 30 videos are there, and small topics you can go through these things. Okay, almost 46 videos are there, and these are all playlist, guys, and Jira videos are there. So go to this link and you can find the Jira videos. So on Jira also Agile development, how the Agile process will happen. So these are also very important skills, guys. Okay, SQL videos, Cucumber videos, and automation framework. So we have discussed one automation framework, one e-commerce project, right? So here I have explained e-banking application, same framework, but application is different, guys. If you're interested, you can watch these recordings. So this is another application. So again, 5 sessions we have, and the same framework, whatever we have so far implemented as part of our sessions, the same framework, but this is another kind of application. It's a banking kind of application. You guys can watch this. Okay. So these are the links I'm going to share you guys. So please make use of all the stuff. And here, manual testing blog links. So again, I have given some links here. These are all links from my blog. You can get a lot of information from there, and FAQs, notes, PDF guides, and note, everything you can download. A lot of things we have in this blog. So everything you can get it from here. And especially for resumes, and just go to this link and you can download a lot of resumes here. So in this particular link, I have created multiple resume templates, manual testing and Selenium, and 1+ years, 3+ years, 5+ years, and QTP is not there current in the market, and ETL testing, and you can download these one, right? Manual testing 1 to 5 years experience, automation testing 1 to 5 years experience. But just click on this, you will get almost 30 to 40 resume templates, guys. Okay, 30 to 40, almost sometimes 50 plus are there. So you will get a zip file, the complete zip file. If you click on this, it will download the complete zip file. So automation testing resumes. So just download this zip file, right? So it will contain almost 40, 50 plus resumes, and get one of them, whichever you like, and then modify it with your information, and so review it multiple times and review with multiple experienced people, and then use the same resume in the job portals. Okay. So I'm just giving this link to you guys. Please download all the resume from here, and done. Once you have done the resume, if you still want me to review, I can still review it. Okay. You can send me your resume. I can just review it. Okay, guys. So this is all about information I'm going to providing you. So along with this, I will also copy the courseware in the Google Drive. You can get them all the stuff from Google Drive itself. Okay. So that's all from my side. So I have almost discussed each and every topic as far as I know. Okay. So that's all for this session.